So, one bag for your new life. What are you packing? Tea, of course. And what I love about my mother is she always has these types of cups when I come home. I also have a sister named Faith and Charity, so those are also abundantly placed in the cabinets. However, it's always nice. I come home and there's a lot of hope stuff, especially mugs with my name, because why not have a cup of hope? Why not? So, if you had to pack for a new life, a new chapter, a new you, a new state, you left everything behind and you decided to restart, what would you pack? Because I've had this a few times and I've really enjoyed it. What's up, what's up, what's up? I see someone I know that's in the chat. And it's always been easy for me just to really disregard whatever I've acquired and just go. The first time in my earlier live, because I come on live twice a day, I spoke of when I started. Thank you for the likes. Please continue to share and like the live because you know it just keeps getting better. My first experience just leaving my childhood home in Central California, I went to the training center to become a flight attendant. And within that, I think I only brought 1 or 2 bags. Like I didn't bring anything because what is there to bring? And with every subsequent move, they've been these huge moves. They've been 3, 4, 5,000 mile moves. So there's no way you can really bring many things, definitely not furniture and things of this nature. I typically leave everything. Or I was in like a roommate situation where I just got rid of everything and moved. And how easy that is. And how light and freeing it is to be able to just up and go without a lot of things. And I would challenge you to question, what are you carrying that may not be beneficial? That favorite dress that you have was your favorite, but it was your favorite dress 7 years ago. Why is it your favorite now? Find another dress. And I say that to myself. I had shared with everyone within the lives when I started shaving my hair off. Thank you for liking and sharing the lives. Nothing resonated with me. And I don't go through these fashion phases. However, nothing was resonating with me. So I really donated or sold my entire wardrobe. I selected a few items that I actually really loved, but it's not that much. One of my favorite finds is this full-length 4-screen Angora cashmere Chanel cape. Now, whenever I would do a race, once a year I would typically do 1 or 2 races, usually a half marathon and a marathon, just to always be working towards something or training towards a huge feat. And I remember this was the last marathon that I ran. I would always gift myself with something for accomplishing something so great. And at the time, my sister was living in Washington Heights, where she still lives now. And there was a genial, kind, caring, graceful woman named Maria. And Maria lived in the building in New York, and she was somewhat like a abuelita to my niece. And so she would watch my niece, and I would go pick my niece up and have conversations with Maria. Well, Maria lived quite a full life. So when Maria was a young woman, she lived in New York, and she actually was in a relationship with the pitcher of the Yankees. And this was in the 70s. And I would go over to Maria's, and she would make me arroz con pollo, plátanos, anything delicious. And I was sharing with her, I'm running this race, and I always gift myself something. And Maria now is probably in her 70s. However, she had some beautiful closets, and she would invite me into her closets because she knew how much I loved clothing, especially fashion from a certain era. I have always loved furs. I've always had a lot of vintage furs, just extravagant pieces, because in cities, it's worthy of wearing these. And it's worthy of wearing whatever you want to wear. Let me change that. So she said, oh, come. And she took me into this walk-in closet that was like beneath some stairs. And there was a lot of sequenced gowns that she had been saving, and some sable furs that were like white, which I loved, but I already had a closet full of vintage furs. And then I spotted this cape. And I love the color green. I always say red is my favorite color, which it is. I've just always loved green. In fact, I painted my childhood room green, this deep forest green. And anyone who's in the live knows I love the outdoors. I'm constantly hiking to a waterfall, at the ocean, fresh water, foraging, just out in nature. I often take barefoot nature walks, and I saw this vibrant forest green cape, and it had texture and it had sheen, and I thought, oh, this is beautiful. Forget the furs. This is it. And I said, this, Maria, and she pulled it out. And I didn't know it was Chanel at the time, and I saw it was Chanel from the early 70s. It actually still had the original, I think, not Barney's. It might have been Barney's or before Barney's, Bloomingdale's. It had the tag on it. And she told me how when she was in this relationship with the pitcher of the Yankees in the 70s, he bought this for her, and she said I could have it. And I was like, oh, this is great. I love it. I love it. It's indescript. I'm not someone who loves signature. In fact, I don't like signature for myself. I don't care to advertise. I advertise myself. I am not advertising a brand. So signature isn't something that calls to me. And the only thing that shows that this beautiful Angora cashmere cape is Chanel is just the insignia off of the zipper. It's small and it has just the CCs, and other than that, you don't know that it's Chanel, but it's beautiful and it's oversized and it's lovely. It's a dream. And so this was my gift to myself for this race. It was either the New York City half or the New York Marathon. And I love it. I love it. It's one thing that whenever I move places, I always know that's coming. It's one of those things that is coming with me. The color speaks to me. The style speaks to me. The story of how it was acquired speaks to me. So this cape is one of those things that I would always take into my next life or whatever new chapter. And when I relocated to Hawaii, I knew, of course, I'm going to take this. Of course, yes. Currently, I'm visiting my family in California. I had to say, okay, what do I want to bring? And prior to me downsizing, I had like 6 closets. I had a closet just dedicated to jackets and coats. Then I had a closet just dedicated to like kind of everyday wear. And then I had racks. I just had a lot of clothes. I would thrift shop probably 3 times a week, and I had a lot of clothes. And I remember as I was moving from Jersey to Hawaii, just grabbing everything and putting it in bags and physically saying, I found it once, I'll find it again. I found it once, I'll find it again. I found it once, I'll find it again, because there were the feelings of, oh, but this beautiful blouse, these beautiful trousers, this beautiful scarf, I'm not gonna wear it. I'm not gonna wear it. I'm in Hawaii. And with beautiful things, I feel that the beauty should be seen. And it's not seen if it's just in the closet. So it was the rational judgment to give it back. Just donate it. It's just clothes. I found it once, I'll find it again. And how often to be reminded of that. Maybe it's a friendship, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a occupation. You found it once, you'll find it again. Not everything has to be held on so tightly that we don't allow the space for something else that may be bigger or brighter or slightly different, but for us in that time to enter, because we're constantly holding on to how we may have defined ourselves, or how we may have comforted ourselves with people, with things, with a lifestyle that no longer serves us. And so to be able to choose wisely what will come along to the next place. And how do you do that? How do you do that? Just imagine yourself saying, you know what? I want to start all over again. I'm allowing myself one bag. What am I taking? What do I want to take? What do I want to create? What do I want to leave? Because, thank you, I think I'm going to do blue. I don't know. I really love my blondes and I love my pink. The sun bleaches my hair even more. And my hair goes very blonde. All the hair on my arms, it goes blonde. Thank you, Danny T. Hayes. I appreciate that. So blue may be next. I'm experimenting. I've never done these colors. We'll see. We'll see. I've had blue all day, or I've worn blue. So yeah, Danny, what would you take in the next chapter of life? What would you pack in that one bag? I posed this to myself, and I often like to bring a lot of things. I always have a journal and a couple of pens. And I have this dye. I had actually taken it out to show my niece, and it's a vintage denim blue, so we'll see how that is. I just bleached my hair a few days ago, and tomorrow I may color it because. Cool. Hi, Karen. What's up, my sister, my peaceful, harmonious sister. Nice to see you. What would you take? What would you take into the next chapter? Exactly, intuition. However, really, what are you going to put in your bag? Of course, intuition is great. But are you taking a workout outfit? Are you taking a journal? Are you taking a book? I told myself I would bring 5 to 10 books. I got those books down to like 3 because I went and spoke to a friend, and I said, I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to see my parents first. And there's so many books that called to me that I didn't start reading, and I have quite a library. She said, Hope, you can buy it again. These books are not first edition. Like, I completely understand if they were first edition to bring them, but they're not. They're reprints. Sure, and even with that, at this point, I wore some trainers. However, I'll buy some new ones. I've learned to just release. Even pictures and frames. There were some pictures that I brought, but all of my pictures are like in my computer. I can print them out. There are a few items. That Chanel cape that was from a woman that would watch my niece, which has a beautiful story, that comes. I have a vintage Christian Dior garment bag that I bought in Milan from a vintage shop. That would come. Like my favorite pair of Levi's. I have whittled it down to maybe 15 things. The rest I can find. I have impeccable style. I will always find something. So, and I enjoy my shopping. So for me to allow a space to shop more, to dress myself in who I am now, with this hair and this positioning in life, may not resonate with 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And how important that is, just to take stock. Does this still resonate with me? Have you asked yourself, does this still resonate with me? Do I wish to show up in the same way, in the same garments, with the same hair, with the same thoughts, with maybe some of the things that I was hung up on before? It's a good thing to ask yourself, because at times we are grasping on to things that no longer need our attention. And how light you can feel when you no longer have these things. Yeah, exactly. You can easily donate them to someone who will make more use of them. Oftentimes you're just holding on to it and it's collecting dust somewhere. Whereas if you release it, you let it go, someone else will put love and effort and attention into a garment. However, use this for outdated thoughts and ways of thinking. Yes, and user 27747, I will say this. I understand that. I am not a minimalist at all. I believe more is more. I am not the one to say less is more. Absolutely not. However, I strive at only acquiring what I love. If I don't love it, I walk away from it. And I have well-made, beautiful quality items. So sometimes there's not need for more. Just lounge. Even the concept of furniture, like you have to have a coffee table and I like a space that can be moved around. I like a space that is functional, where things convert. And from living, especially in Europe, I've learned to make a space efficient. Not just have a large space and fill it with things, but have a space that I love and create an efficient space. And I thought about this even coming to see my parents, that there's just stuff. And it's easy for me because, as I've said, I've made quite frequent long moves. So when I moved from California to DC, for me to bring everything, no. And I was just starting out. I was leaving my parents' house, so I brought 2 bags. When I moved from DC to London, I think it was the same. I believe I brought 2 or 3 bags, like two carry-ons and a duffel that I checked in. Because what am I bringing? I'm going to recreate myself. So whatever I'm bringing is going to get tossed anyway. And I remember when I had first moved to London, yeah, I stood out like a sore thumb just because London is always misty and rainy and cold. And so I learned how to dress really for cold weather there. I learned how to layer. I learned how really the use of textures, and you have like a thermal and then maybe a we call it a turtleneck, they call it it'll come to me. You have that, then you may have a cardigan or a jumper. A jumper is like a button-down sweater or sweatshirt. Then you'll have a heavier overcoat, and then a scarf, and then these layering things. When I first moved to London, I'm originally from California. I had lived in DC for about 1.5 years. However, that concept of dressing for cold weather, I don't believe is mastered until I left, meaning London, Paris, everywhere outside. So anything that I brought to London really there was no use for it. I was now relatively in a misty, cold environment. And my 2 flatmates were both born on the continent of Africa in different countries, but attended boarding schools and private schools in Europe. So they had already been in Europe for several years and knew how to layer. So the move to London was not many of my things, and I acquired a lot. I was there for a long time. I was there for 7 years. And scene style, this is why I appreciate when I receive the compliment of, oh, I like your style, because I believe style is reflective of your journey through life. Being the flight attendant for 15 years, I have seen many facets of life, many facets of style, many facets of culture. And all of that is imprinted within me in some way. And I carry it. And it may be reflected in the way I dress or you dress. It may be reflected in your manner of speaking. It may be reflected in how you decorate your home. However, it's reflective of what you have seen. Yes, of course, sure, Danny, that I understand. And what are you bringing? It's both, sure. I'm open to not bringing anything. I'm open, even when I traveled here, I was thinking, I don't want to bring anything. Like, I'm going to thrift shop, I'll shop, I'm going to be traveling. What do I need? I don't need anything. I'd rather acquire as I go and allow myself to be open. And even within Hawaii and California, they're both laid back. It's both warm weather places. However, thank you, Sarah, for sharing the live. Continue to like and share the live. It's very different. Hawaii is as laid back as you can get. Even as I was speaking to a friend of mine who's a designer, Karamiya, beautiful designer with textiles, paints, watercolors. She tie-dyes with these beautiful powders. She designs. Every time I go to her studio, she's working on something. And she said, Hope, whatever you have here in Maui, it's really only for Maui. Even California is a little bit different. I said, you're right. Because in Maui, not only is it laid back, it's really relaxed. Anything that would be subtly dressed up is like too much for Hawaii. That would be acceptable for places in California, and you would have California, you metropolitan cities. You have LA and San Francisco and San Diego and plenty of cities where you can dress to the nines. Hawaii, kind of, but not so much. It's really, it's laid back. It's the essence of relaxed. So oftentimes I'm in swimwear or bikini top, and my favorite, my Levi's vintage cutoff shorts, which could also be utilized here in California. However, unless you're by the coast, to walk around in a bikini top, although it would be acceptable, is out of sync. In Hawaii, it's very in sync. And allowing that. Wherever I am, I receive the question of, where's your favorite? Oh, I'm my favorite. I just show up in the place and I allow the place to speak to me. So when I'm speaking of what would you pack, really, how do you want to show yourself in a different space? Doesn't mean you change yourself by changing your garments, but changing your garments does affect you. And I often say I don't care to see rain or snow ever again. I've lived that completely. I lived that for several years, and through all of these places, I was just gathering information of what I wanted in life, where I wanted to live, what I wanted to feel like, what climates do I like the best? What do I want? What do I want? And positioning myself in a place to live, to me, is down to where I want to live. It's not, am I close to employment? It is not, am I close to friends or family? It is not, this is the least expensive option. I believe I feel my best when I am placed exactly where I want to be. For me, that is often a year-round warm climate. For me, this is often a space where the outdoors are readily available for me, because I have lived in cities for several years, some of the busiest cities. And being a flight attendant, I was traveling to cities as my lifestyle, as my occupation. So it wasn't going to Paris once. I would go to Paris 3, sometimes 6 times a month over the course of several years. So I really got to experience these places, extract what I wanted, and take them with me to everywhere I would go. And I do love Paris. However, Paris visiting and Paris living are two completely different forms. Two completely. Yes, that's also a thing. However, cool, Erin, that depends on the individual. Because if you're open and you're aware of that and you can tune into that, which I can immediately feel the feeling, the vibration, frequency, whatever that can be labeled, and say, oh, this feels good. Yeah, things just work here. Things are falling into place. Okay, that is one thing. I don't know if every individual is open or aware to that. However, this is my experience, and I identify with that because I do go places where I feel great. Somewhere like London, it didn't have that same vibration. That was before I was really tuned into that, and I just wanted to be there. And I learned a lot from that situation. Even Paris, did it have that same feeling as, say, like Senegal or Maui, or there's some other places that have? Not so much. However, what I learned from it was the lesson. And I agree with that. As soon as I get off the plane and touch the earth, I can feel that. And I have felt it. And I've traveled so much, I can tune into it. And still, when going somewhere, to be open to what you can experience, to be open to what you may feel, to be open to what is there for you. Because often I hear, oh, where was your favorite? And I always say, I'm my favorite. However, there's something that is my favorite in every place. Because I allow myself to be open. So it may be a restaurant, a person, a situation. Sure, cool, Erin, absolutely. Every place has something different, and there's something for me to learn. That's how I say it. There's always something for me to learn. And I find this experience is just that, for me to learn. What can I develop in myself from this? What am I learning from this? What can I unlearn to be open to receiving the lesson? And in every space, there was something different. I spoke about the night before I was leaving to Chicago to start flight attendant training, just bawling my eyes out, just crying, because I knew I had to leave really childhood behind. And I was 22 at the time. However, I had to leave behind. And here's the thing. I'm never leaving anything behind. The memory's there. The memory with the person is still there. I'm not leaving anything behind. That's a figurative statement. However, it was the mourning of the loss of the former me and the excitement of the new, which is what I was looking forward to. And it was what I wanted. And I spoke about this in my live earlier today, that I was so excited, and I knew, and my focus was solely on becoming the flight attendant. In training, the focus was not on really making friends with other people in the training center. That was fine. However, that was not my initial goal. That's secondary. My goal is to successfully complete flight attendant training. And nothing was going to come between that. And from my perspective, I saw others who chose to make it a social space, which, why not? However, for myself, I knew that this career would be life-changing. I knew this career would grant me the opportunities to learn around the world and travel around the world, which is what I sought. So yes, friendship is great. However, the goal is to successfully complete. And there was quite a few people that would enjoy themselves and drink and do all the things that you typically do. And some of those people took it too far, and they did not successfully complete flight attendant training. That wasn't going to be me. It wasn't. There was no way it was going to be me. And I knew that. And how powerful that was, because that was the firm ground that I was on. I am here for this reason. Not to party up with y'all. Not to go out to the club. I could go out to the club after I complete. After I complete this. This is the change in my life that I seek. So, I'm not really chilling. I'm asleep. Ready to get up the next day to start again. And I remember, thank you for the roses, Fro Globe. I remember a lot of it. We had tests like every 3 days, probably twice a week. And the tests, we could use our manuals. And I remember seeing individuals studying their manuals. And I was thinking, why are you studying? Because to me, studying has, I have not purposely. But you see there's a smile, so there's always a great adventure. To me, studying is to retain information. Thank you for liking the live. To retain information. If I can look at the manual during testing, sure, I can review it, but I'm not going to study for hours because I do not need to memorize this information. I can just access it during testing. And how I looked at that, like, this could be used time for something else. However, I'm not going to sit and study for 4 hours if I have access to the information during the testing. Doesn't that make sense? Does that make sense to anyone? To me, studying is just to memorize the information. And I do remember just feeling confident, like, of course this is for me. There was never a time, because I would hear others say, oh, I don't know if I'll make it through. Well, I'm not going to say that. You know how important it is to use your words with attention? I'm here, I'm focused. Of course I will be successful. Even if I thought it, which I wouldn't, I'm not going to say it, the opposite. And the importance of that. The importance of that. More so, if you say, I don't think I'm going to do well, I'm probably not going to be around you. What's up, James Gilliam? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'm not going to be around you. The same thing when I started flying, and there's quite a few flight attendants. I think there's now probably 30 to 40,000 upwards. If I heard someone gossiping, I'm just walking away. That's not for me. It's not for me. I don't even want to be in earshot of that. It is not for me. And how important that can be to know what's not for us, to know when to walk away, to know when to focus in, to know when it is for you, and feel confident with that. And to know for sure, yeah, positive things. Yeah, you know, I'm all about it. My brain just clicks into that positive space. Oftentimes when someone, and this is just me, I often say this is my truth. It's not the truth. It is a truth. I allow all truths to exist because we all have our truths. If someone is mentioning something that was harmful to them, let's say they fell down the stairs, I would say, that's so great that you're healing. I'm not going to mention me falling down the stairs. You know what? I learned from something and I'm healing incredibly. I don't care to repeat things that I don't want in my life. I am meticulous about this. Meticulous. And it's been helpful for me because it may be the norm, it may not be. I don't know. What someone's norm is them. It's often I'm one of those people, Fro Globe. I will ask if you're okay, but I will laugh. Like, laughter is a healing act. So I think that's hilarious if you trip or you miss a step. Now, I will ensure that you're okay, or if I can aid you in any way. However, I'm going to laugh. I laugh at myself if I trip and fall, because I'm like, my arms flail. I'm just animated. I laugh at myself. I can see myself happening, or falling. If you're running, I saw someone running when I lived in DC, and they lost their footing and all of their papers flew up in the air and flew all on the ground. I am going to laugh. It's hilarious. It looks like a skit. Now, I will assist you with picking up the papers. I will assist you and ensure that you're okay. However, I'm going to laugh. I will laugh if you miss a step. I will laugh if you trip. I will laugh if you split your pants. I'm going to laugh. I won't cover my laugh. You'll know that I'm laughing. However, it's not at you. It's with you. So, yes, I am one of those. I will laugh. And feel free to laugh when the same thing happens to me. It's quite funny when it happens to me because I'm just so animated. So there we go. There's our disclaimer for O Globe. Those things are funny. I think those things are hilarious. Hi! I know you're healing so well. I know you're healing miraculously, Jessica. So, exactly. And I'm getting all the hearty hars that I can get in. Like deep, deep laughter. I am. I'm laughing. I don't know. Maybe. User 99. Sure. I don't relate it to one or the other. So sure, that could be that could be it. Sure. I have had some have I? Oh, I remember. Okay. There was this day in London. What's up, Chris? How you doing? I was actually going to work. I was going to fly. This is when I was based out of London, and I lived like 2 hours away from the airport. Because London, the airport, thank you for the hi bear. Oh, I love them too. I appreciate them. As long as I can bring some healing and some laughter, I've had a great day, so thank you, Jessica. Tell them to continue to enjoy. The airport in London is actually in, what is that area called? It's outside of London. If you take a train, where I lived in East London. Hi, Michelle. What's up, girl? It would take me like 2 hours. So I would leave 2.5 hours prior to check-in. Check-in is an hour and 45 minutes prior to departure. Okay? So at a 7:45 a.m. check-in, I would leave at 5 a.m. And there was a lot of stairs and a lot of escalators. Now, here in the US, we take this for granted. The ADA is a huge organization within the US, meaning the American Disabilities Act ensures that locations must have step-free access. Within the states, this is a really big deal. You see sidewalks where they're always working on the corners to make sure it's level, like a slope, so someone who is in a wheelchair can just slide down. This is only here. You go places and this isn't the case, such as the UK, where there's not step-free access on sidewalks, and there's you still can. It's not done yet. You still can. Even in the stations. So not every station has a lift or an escalator or a elevator. So if you had to get off on stop A and stop A did not have an elevator and you were in a wheelchair, you would have to go to stop B and then take a bus to stop A. And you see how complicated that can be if you are in a wheelchair or some sort of transport that helps with your own transportation. So be aware of that. Simple things like these are not familiar everywhere in the world. However, I left my house. I think something had happened that morning, and I was working on staying in a positive space. And it can be. It can be. And I bring it to the people's attention in the live just because that was a difference that I saw. No, not yet. If you sent it, I'll check it out. I've been with family, so I've kind of been doing my own productivity and then with family and then jumping on live. So I have not. However, I will check it out. I'm excited to see. So I had left, and then I realized I think I had left my Metro card or something. So I decided to turn around and go home and get it and then get back on the train because there was no barriers. So I could just walk onto the train without actually using my Metro card. So I turned around, went, acquired my tube card, my Oyster card. And within that time, you have about 2 hours from when you first tap in. And I ran out of the 2 hours. So when I went to tap in at another station, because within London, unlike somewhere like New York, you swipe in, you're swiped in. You don't need to swipe again. In London, at every station, you have to swipe in. And I went to tap my Metro card and it had expired because it had surpassed the 2 hour limit. So I went to one of the agents and said, it appears my card has expired. I went back home to get my card. And the guy says, oh, it's all right, mate. I'll just say, I think you had a cup of tea with one of your friends. And I was like, what? He's like, it's fine. You just have a cup of tea and biscuit. Sometimes the time just passes you by. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what happened. So can you just reactivate my card? Sure, lovey. So he reactivated my card. So I had that happen. Then there was something else. But the main thing was I was coming down this escalator. I think it was at the Holborn station. And this woman had a beautiful sari on, and she was in front of me. And she went to throw her sari over her arm. And little did she know, all of the beads at the end of her sari hit me right in the face, in my eyes. And I was like, ah! And I said, that is it. That is it. This morning, like, those beads hurt. It was hilarious. If someone would have saw that from afar, they would have laughed. I should have laughed. It was hilarious because she was just throwing her sari over with the beads, and it slapped me in the face. And it slapped like my eyelids. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And so once I opened my eyes, I was upset, and I was like, this is it. I'm going to say, please watch where you're going. And as I'm stepping off the escalator to tell this woman, like, you just hit me in the face with all those beads, my suitcase actually got stuck in the middle of the escalator. So it was stuck, and as I'm walking off, it pulls me backwards. It's like life was like, no, you're not going to do this today. So as it pulls me backwards, I'm in my flight attendant uniform. I fall backwards, legs go up, like I'm on the escalator rolling around like a roly-poly after just being slapped in the face with the beaded scarf. It was hilarious. I am so happy that I was not hurt in any of this. However, the sequence of events, sequence, like the sequence on the star, it was hysterical. It was hysterical. What is that? And so I laughed at myself and said, you know what, I'm letting all of this go. Yeah, it was completely a fiasco. It was absolutely hilarious. How did my bag get stuck like that? So from that, I just said, to heck with this. This is okay. And hi, girl. I let it go. I've learned to laugh at these things because why not? I mean, anyone who would have saw that, me getting hit in the face with the scarf, and then me going to attempt to say something and my bag getting stuck and me flying back, it looked like a cartoon. It looked ridiculous, and it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Oh, geez. Okay, this brings out other funny stories. Okay. So to laugh at oneself, my niece who's here visiting my parents in California, who lives in New York, we were speaking of times where we would be together for the whole day and go thrift shopping, go to Koreatown. We would often go to Chinatown because I love like hand-pulled Chinese noodles in New York. And I was saying bye to her on the train platform, and I went to hug her and I heard rip. And I said, oh, Sky, did the back of my dress just tear open? And she looked, she's like, uh-huh. So, okay, well, what am I gonna do? Like, what am I gonna do? And I also remember one time, this is when I lived in Newark, and I would walk to Newark Penn. I had like a wrap skirt made from batik fabric, like African fabric, and I put it on. I was unaware that I didn't wrap it correctly. I just walked home with the back of my dress split open. That's what I did. Like, if you get a show, then you get a show. So I didn't wrap the skirt correctly. So little did I know, both of my cheeks were blowing in the wind. Why I did not feel this, I don't know. But as I was walking from my apartment to the train station, both of my butt cheeks were out. And I didn't know. Now, people would normally say, hey girl, hey beautiful. I just thought that was why they were yelling at me. They were actually yelling because they got to see both of my exposed cheeks. And I had about a 10 to 15 minute walk to the station, and I had no idea both of the cheeks were out until I went and got on the train and sat down, and I thought, ooh, this is kind of cold. And then I thought, oh, it's cold because I am fully exposed. So everyone just got a show, and that's what it is. And then I was thinking like, whoa, everyone, all those streets I cross, everyone got a show. So I just have to laugh at it. I mean, exactly. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's it. What am I going to do? You just saw the cheeks. Oh, well, now I'll straighten it out. Now I learned. I don't consider that a fail. What I consider that is the lesson in the time I was learning it. So if you feel a little airflow, it may be because your cheeks are exposed. That's what I learned from that. Maybe your cheeks are exposed. So double check, Hope, before you go outside. You have full length mirrors to make sure the cheeks aren't exposed. That is important, that your cheeks aren't exposed. So this is a funny story. Speaking of exposed cheeks, I'll start sharing some of the funny flight attendant stories because a lot of funny things would happen during summer. There was a hotel we stayed at. Where did we stay? I think it was... I hope you do. I haven't forgot about it. I think it was our hotel in... Well, yeah, they're exposed too. Yeah, I understand that. Cheeks being exposed, what are you gonna do? I think it was our hotel somewhere in Germany, and the doors were almost facing. So there would be 2 rooms and then a hallway and then 2 more rooms and then a hallway. So oftentimes we're put next to each other in the hotel room. And in this hotel, the door to the hotel room and the bathroom door looked similar. They were right next to each other. So you could easily at night like open your door and walk into the hallway with the expectation of opening the door and going into the bathroom. And that's what this flight attendant did. So a flight attendant who chose to sleep without clothes, which is a wonderful way to sleep, went to open the bathroom door. What he did not know was he was opening the door that led into the hallway of the hotel. And let's say it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And he walks out and he's like, oh shoot. And by the time he turns around, the door has closed. So he's in the hallway in the hotel at like 2 in the morning with no clothes on. Standing next to the door like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, freaking out. So, luckily, right next to him was another flight attendant. So he gets up close to the door like, hey, sorry, open the door. I'm really sorry. Can you open the door? He keeps knocking. Can you open the door? I don't have any clothes. I thought it was the bathroom. Please open the door. And the flight attendant was, we got it. Like, simple mistake. He opened the door and they called the front desk to let him into his room. He was lucky that a flight attendant was right next to his room because that is unfortunate. I had never had one of those happen, but I did have one time when I had first started. I was sometimes paranoid about missing our pickup van. So the van that would take us back to the airport. We have scheduled shuttle services, usually an outside company that will pick us up and take us to the airport. So we had came in and our pickup was like 6 a.m. Good evening, Los Focus. We arrived at maybe 9 or 10 in the morning and I was so tired. This was in Denver. I remember we were in Denver and I went to sleep only to wake up at 6 p.m. But I thought it was 6 a.m. So I just grabbed all my stuff and opened the door and ran down the hotel hallway to the head flight attendant like, please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. And I was banging on her door like, hey, tell them to wait for me. And she's like, Hope, what are you doing? I said, it's 6. I don't want the transport to leave me. She said, honey, it's 6 p.m. Our pickup is 6 a.m. Oh my gosh. Okay, have a good night. And I just went back to my room. But I did not want to take them off of their game and get left like those. That was a serious fear. And then I started to calm down. because I never missed a pickup. I never missed any of those things. Flying definitely gave me the insight of time management, as well as my father. However, the plane doesn't wait for you, so you gotta be there. In summer, there would be a lot of funny things. There would always just be funny things happening. However, I always remember that story because I was in such a hurried state. I was so afraid that I was going to get left, and I didn't. So within that, I learned to just chill. You're okay. I'm always reminded of this. You're okay. Chill. Even if it did leave you, so what? You'll just take the next one, or you could take a cab and expense it. Like, it wouldn't be that detrimental. So those are a few stories, and it all started with, what would you take? One bag for your new life. What would you take? Of course, you're going to have yourself. So you have these lessons that you have, your intellect, your intuition, your magic, your optimism, your own talents, gifts, natural abilities. However, what are the physical items? Are there any physical items? Do you know what physical items? There's some stages that I will be speaking on. I haven't announced yet because I'm waiting for the announcement, but I will be doing in-person events very soon. So there we go. I haven't announced that. Someone asked, like, have you announced yet? No, I wasn't told that I could. So until I'm told, you see me here. Who are you bringing along? What are you bringing along? What do you no longer need? Who do you want to transform into? I'm in a transformative space. What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, so you $ Serenity. I need to message your mama because I've been sleeping, but I'm good. Serenity is one of my nieces around the world, and I love the word serenity. In fact, I heard it earlier today, and I thought of you, Serenity, because you're like one of my nieces, and we have great talks, and I love you. Serenity, anyone who is in my life, had brought me over cake, and she was one of the reasons why I spoke about cake. I miss you too, but I'm still in the sun. I'm here in California. I'm in the sun. My mom is taking great care of me, and she always has like hope mugs. She always has these types of things, which I love, and it's really nice. So I miss you. I love you. What would you take? Because there's a lot of junk we drag along. There's a lot of things we just carry with us. And I know, going through my house, like, why do I have so much? I have so much stuff. Love you. All right, T-Rick, I love you too. Ask yourself, what would you take? And what is the new life? Dream about what is the new life. I will. I told her she has to get it. Right now, she would say, girl, leave me alone. That's what she would probably say, because she's watching, I don't know, Home Shopping Network or something, you know. She's usually watching that, or that's all these people watch. It is. It's really nice to feel loved. And I do. Every time I come home and see, take inventory. Back to that. What would you pack in your bag for your next life? Take inventory. Would you even pack anything? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yes, Actually, let me do that now, because this taught me a lot. And my father would always speak about how you speak to human beings. And there's the element of kindness. And I've worked in customer service. Trust me, being a flight attendant can stretch your lengths of kindness towards humans. Yeah, you would have to take your bag. At this point, I don't want to take anything. Like, what am I taking? I'm not going to take anything. However, how you speak to a human being, because human beings are still human beings, regardless of if someone is aggressive. I am exceptional in the event that I do not need to what's called match your energy. I'm not into that. In fact, I challenge myself to stay in my calm, cool, collected, harmonious space. If you have aggression, that's within you. And I understand there's a lot of anger that people carry, but that has nothing to do with me. And for me to be out of my calm state does not serve me. Typically, the best decisions aren't made from a aggressive space, or a fearful space, or an angry space, or a scared space. The best decisions are made from a calm, cool, organized, peaceful, even space. And I'm for the people. So if I see someone coming that you may need to know, I'm gonna put out the bird call, okay? I'm gonna put out the bird call. So when I was at my home, I was outside doing something, sorting through stuff. I saw this Rent-A-Center truck. And the lot that the home was on had several homes. This is normal within Hawaii, that you have a lot with maybe 3 homes, because the lots may be quite large. And when I saw the Rent-A-Center truck, I hit the people in the home behind me like, hey, the Rent-A-Center people are here, thinking that they were coming to get something. I gotta let you know. I don't know if you gotta lock it up or something, but as a dutiful neighbor, I'm gonna let you know. The other thing is, I do feel that. I feel like the aggression, okay? So as soon as the truck came, I just felt this discomfort that I had to do a lot of deep breathing. And work on that, because my intention isn't to pick up on anything that feels like that all the time. So he smashed in the Rent-A-Center truck, and he hopped out of the car like with the power drill. Like he hopped out the truck with the power drill. And he looked very grimacing. He had on a burgundy Rent-A-Center shirt and some reading glasses, and he was coming for business with his power drill. So I had told my neighbor the Rent-A-Center people are here, and I just felt aggression when the truck came. And he walked up their driveway and proceeded to really berate them. And what this comes down to is how we speak to each other as human beings. I understand there's a job that needs to be done. However, to use that ability as a human to speak to another human in a kind, compassionate tone is the win. Or to allow the situation to be felt out. Not immediately berate someone. Now, if the person you're speaking to wants to hit you upside the head, I guess that's the next place that you go. But to immediately attack someone with words because of your job, in front of children and family members, is not how from my perception, how a human interacts. To use profanity and because this gentleman was coming to disassemble a bunk bed. And if you think about a bunk bed, you would be aware that a bunk bed isn't being slept on by adults. So you're coming to disassemble and take away a bunk bed. What's up, Miss Frankie D? Which children sleep on. So you're coming to disassemble and take away a child's bed. And regardless if payments are made or not, there's a way to speak to a human being. What's up, what's up, what's up? There's a way to speak to a human being and not in that tone. And I remember hearing that and seeing that, and I will go into deep breathing because it's something I have to release. It's almost like I pick up on it and I know how to release it. However, to speak to a human being in a tone that is not worthy of another human being hearing. There's a way to speak to someone, especially when doing business. And I had said, that's not good business to speak to anyone like that. Furthermore, the way these companies are set up, especially if it's somewhere like Rent-A-Center, the bulk of your return has already been made. So as soon as the person carries it out, they've essentially already made their money. So taking the furniture back, it's not like you're gaining more or you're losing. You're not actually losing money. You've already made it. So to berate someone and to cuss at someone and to have someone call for even the energy in the universe, you put that out, especially with business. My belief is any exchange with money or business, how you treat people may circle back around. I don't know. This is just my theory. But I'm hearing these elevated tones and the words that are being used. And I said, why? Why is this so easily the next step? To speak to another human being in this manner? Why is it acceptable, especially in a business manner, to use profanity? To put someone down? People are going through a hard time. I would know. It can be difficult keeping things together. And for someone to come to disassemble your child's bed, and you're speaking down to them, and you're speaking in an elevated tone, and you're using profanity, when the person that you're speaking to is not doing the same, why is that acceptable for this speaker? And the simple element of how we communicate as human beings, how that could have been changed. How that whole situation would have been changed from a simple, I understand, I got a job to do. How about I come back on a later date? Or they're giving me a hard time, I'm going to come back later today. Or how about you call us? There can always be something that can be worked out. Yes. There may be a job or corporate people who are telling you things. However, you have the agency to be able to direct your words to a human being in a kind, compassionate way, especially in a situation like this, where you're coming to remove a child's bedroom set. Period. There's no other way. And as I was speaking about this, an individual said, well, what about if you had to deal with that every day? Well, then I'm going to assess every situation per that situation. I'm not going to assume that every situation is the same. It's not. It's not. So just because the prior person might have been rude doesn't mean that the next person I speak to, I will address them in that tone. And what that means, to speak to another human being with kindness. And when I hear the lack of that, I understand people are hurt. A lot of us are carrying around anger and aggression and trauma and hurts from life. I do understand that. That's what it sounds like to me. And I have compassion for that. However, to speak to someone outside of a tone of humanity, maybe that's a space that can be reflected on. Because this it does not bring any benefit. It brings no benefit. So it was both. It was funny because I had to put out the bird call when I saw the Renter Center. I had to put out the bird call, send the message. I mean, it's like if I saw the repo man, I'm going to say, hey, they're coming to get your car. You know? And at the same time, I understand that's business. And to speak to a person with humanity. Because there may be a tone of, because this person or these people are in this tax bracket or only make this much, I don't see them as humans. No, it's not about that. It's about addressing someone as a human with humanity. And how simple that can be. How simple that can be. And how I felt all of this aggression and what I learned from it is maybe we need to really see we are humans. Like we gotta maybe see ourselves as that and not as this amount of money or this race or this gender or whatever label we put that on. And what would come from that? You see, when I think of the bag for my new life, humanity, kindness is always in there. Courage, honesty, compassion, clear, thoughtful communication. Thank you, Jessica. Well, so I challenge. That's the foundation. However, challenge yourself. Is that the foundation you're currently using? Because we can say this all the time. However, check in with ourselves. Check in our bag to see if we're utilizing this and what that would mean when we do. Because sometimes we forget. Sometimes life happens. Thank you, Jessica. However, to live with to live with true compassion for others, to live with a dignity on how you treat a human being, no matter how they react to you. People just show up how they show up. That doesn't have anything to do with me. I get to control how I respond, not how I react. I'm not reacting, I'm responding. Is that what it is? I'll take that then, I guess. Thank you, Jessica. Just to speak to someone with a human element of kindness. You never know what people are going through. People are losing their homes. They've lost family members, stressed out because tight finances. You never know. And the words you offer may give a little spirit of kindness, or You never know how those words will hurt, especially if you're already hurt. So to really think, thank you, Nikki. Thank you. Man, I've been around the world and I. So I know, I've seen it all. If I gotta give you the bird call, when I see them roll up to take some, I'm gonna give you the bird call. That's kindness, okay? I'm gonna give you the bird call. Come, they at the door. They at the door, okay? Really, look at each other as humans. Look at each other as humans. And I started to see this as I was traveling, because I've traveled so much and we're just humans living this experience. How far a kind word or just a compassionate word can be. Often, well, I'm rushed. Well, I just got off work. Well, someone broke up with me. So the easiest thing for you to do is respond with a reaction that isn't well thought out. The most compassionate and at time more time consuming is to take your time to say, oof, that kind of stung. All right, let me sit with that. Okay. And yeah, I don't need to respond. Let me speak to this person with kindness. That may change something in your life or the other person's life. So as I close this with the one bag for your new life, think about that. We need to speak to each other as human beings, not as a political party or a gender or whatever. So what? Yes, let's say that's true. So what? So what? We may have something in common, but we won't know until we actually get on the same page and have a conversation as humans. And the challenge is within myself. This is within myself, because you never know who's watching. And you're always watching yourself. Sometimes we don't even forgive ourselves. Yes, kindness is key. But how kind are you? How kind have you been today? I went into somewhere today to get something, a pumice stone for my foot. And the woman said, how are you today? I said, I am marvelous and majestic. She said, oh, I want to be marvelous and majestic. I said, all you have to do is just say it. That's all you have to do is just say it. The words will follow. The feeling will follow. However, it takes the words being said. Just say it with me now. You're marvelous and majestic. She said, I'm marvelous and majestic. I needed your energy today. I said, well, yeah. All you got to do is say it. So be marvelous and majestic today. And as you're in this majestic, marvelous state, write down what you will put in your bag for the new life. The bag may be empty. Maybe you don't need to bring anything from this moment forward. No clothes, all you need is yourself. That's what I like to do. Maybe there are things you would like. Maybe there's people you would bring. But write that down. What would I bring into my new life? What does my new life look like? What do I want to recreate myself as? You're welcome, Nikki. Style to you. Are you a stylist? And I've done this a few times. Like every time I recreate or go to a different place, I've done this. I've tossed wardrobes, or I just pick friends, like, come take whatever you want. Take whatever you want. Take whatever you want. And I have a great wardrobe. Oh, okay. So we should talk. I love that. Oh, that's what I'm going to speak about next. How beautiful all of my hairstylists have been to me. And I've always had a hairstylist everywhere I've gone. And how they've almost been protectors and majestic mothers of some sort, because you're working on the crown. So there's a lot of magical things happening when you're working on someone's head. However, how beautiful that is. And now it's a little bit different because I'm really loving this buzz cut. I don't know if I'll go back to having hair, but this is enough. Be the reflection of the infinite love that you are, because and it's truly art. I absolutely agree. It's truly art. You're truly an artist. We all come from infinite sources of love. Show up. All you gotta do is show up. That's all you gotta do. That's the craziest thing. All you have to do is show up. The rest will be done for you once you show up. And when you show up, make it look good. Make it look good, okay? And see others as humans. Challenge yourself to see what that means for you, because that just may change everything. The moment that you see someone as a human, the way you show up may change. The way you create your sentences towards the person may change. The way you respond, not react, will change. And how powerful that is. And even in those moments, to respond with character, with kindness, to pause, to think. I told this to my niece, people go on your time. I respond in my time. Hurry up. No, I will respond on my time. What's up, Michelle? Thank you, Nurse Michelle. Thank you for helping out Jessica and helping her healing process. As I was traveling to see my parents, I had people messaging me, and I said, I'm taking the weekend. People will get my response when I'm ready. I don't respond when you want me to respond. I respond when I'm ready to respond. Yeah, my timing is the perfect timing. It's the perfect timing. It never fails. And I trust my timing, but it really is my timing. I'm not going to be rushed. And y'all can wait. You've been my friends for years. You can wait. Okay? In fact, you're going to wait. I had a friend call me, and she kept calling me and calling me. I said, what is it? Oh, I just really need to talk to you. Why? I just wanted to talk. I'm in traffic. Hang up the phone. Don't do this again. That has nothing, that's your anxiety. I'm not about, what do you want to say? Now you got me on the phone, you ain't got nothing to say. I'm getting off the phone. Let me go back to whatever I was doing. I don't care if it was putting butter on toast. I'm going back to that. Not sitting on the phone with you because you're bored in traffic. You deal with your anxiety yourself. And really, go in your own time. And in your own time, determine what you're putting in the bag for the new life. If it's nothing, even better. Just recreate your new self. I'm in the process of doing that. Yeah, and I understand that too, because people do that. They will call me like, I need your energy. I understand. However, I need to check in to see if I have it to give you. I have to check in to make sure I'm in a place where I can share it. That I completely understand. I align myself with the line healer. I am. My energy does. I'm light and bright and magnetic. I understand that. However, I will check in and make sure I'm in that space to be able to reciprocate and be open and available. Because if I'm not, get off my phone. People know I don't really answer the phone anyway. Like this is why I'm often in this elevated state. And I'm really elevated now because I'm in the presence of my family and my parents. So it's at an all-time high. So check in with yourself and challenge yourself. What if there was a new life? What would it look like? What would I bring? What would I look like? How would I show up? What's the new occupation? Who are the new people I'm around? It's a beautiful worksheet to create, to see like, well, maybe I do want to do this. Maybe I do need a rezhuzh. Maybe I do just need to shave off my hair. I saw that girl on TikTok, Hope, and that's what I'm going to do. And if you need help, I'm here for it. I'm here for it because I'm all for a redo. As I say, I do that every 4 to 5 years. Just turn a new chapter. So turn a new chapter, challenge yourself. What are you taking? What are you not taking? What do you definitely want to get rid of? And what will it look like? Because that may materialize into what's next for you. Thank you for the Rose Blue Moon song. I am so happy, Jessica. I am so happy. And now I'm back on my 2-a-days again while I'm in between aiding with my parents and things I'm doing here. Yeah, and I've really changed some chapters. And you can tell usually from the hair. I can say, oh, this was this era because my hair is always changing. So I will close that with my mugs that my mom always gets. And I have some rice on. I'm making a cucumber salad for my niece with some rice vinegar. And I think we're going to make sushi rolls again. We made some last night. So that's what I'm going to do now. I do it all.
5 more minutes and I'll come get you, okay?
That's my mom.
Sure.
I do it all. Love and light, Jay. I am so excited. I love being on live. Yeah, I'm hungry too. Let me go get this rice because these people don't have a rice cooker. I actually have to put it in a pot. Who does that? I prefer a rice cooker. So I will see you tomorrow. And feel encouraged. Things are looking up. It's the truth. I said, Mom, where's the rice cooker? She said, you're looking at her. I'm the rice cooker. No, that's not, Mom. Okay. So I will. Thank you very much, Jessica. Continue to heal with all of the nutrients and the love and the support you have around you. And I will speak to you tomorrow. Paper thin. Yeah, I'm right over here with her. She'll say it, girl. Look at them paper thin. I'm going to get her on camera soon. I really will. So you can hear. This is really how she talks. She's quite a character. I love you too. And I love the yellow hearts. I love all hearts. And, oh, yeah, to anyone who's a veteran, you're welcome. Or has trauma with loud sounds, I send some healing energy towards you for the 4th of July if you are in the U.S. I am the child of a veteran, and I'm very aware that veterans or anyone who's been in combat or any situations with guns, that 4th of July can be really uncomfortable. It can be traumatic, and fireworks replicate guns and the bright flash and the loud. And I know my father has tried to redirect his energy for years. He's 76. However, it is something that maybe many aren't aware of. However, it's very true. So just send out a little compassion for those who have a difficult time with these sounds during the 4th of July holiday, because it brings back memories that can be uncomfortable. So I'm aware of that. So celebrate your 4th. I'll be on here. And I'll see you tomorrow with more stories. Ooh-wee. I'm so excited. I love you all. Thank you, Mundi. You're welcome, Jessica Lopez. And my new Stevie. I haven't seen you in a while. Nikki Styles you. I love it. 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 Yeah, I have more. I always have some stories. All it takes is someone to tell me something and I'll say, oh, I remember that story. So I will share more, definitely, to make you laugh. Thank you, Blue Moon Song, especially for sending the roses. You're welcome. I'm a speaker. I'm a storyteller. That's what I do. That's what I do. And I look good doing it. So I'm in my jumpsuit, which I love. You know, I love a jumpsuit, one and done. And I'm going to go cook for my niece, who's 13. And then I think we're going to go sit in the grass. So I will see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Unless you're like in Hawaii, then it's still only the late afternoon. However, I love you lots, and I will see you tomorrow. Ciao.